Right. So, very good evening, one and all. How are you? Okay. So, myself, Vishwanath Mamledesai. So, I am here to conduct your statistics classes for PUC 2. So, PUC 2 statistics classes ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಮೈಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ವಿಶ್ವನಾಥ್. ಸೊ ಕಾರಣಾಂತರಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಟುಡೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆರ್ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಚಾನಲ್ with Unacademy, right? So Unacademy PUC Karnataka exam barita irovrige, so we have a telegram channel also. You can join in there, wherein you will get the notifications regarding our classes. So ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಯಾವ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೀತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾದಂಥ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಚಾನಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಲಿಂಕನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಮುಖಾಂತರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಅಸ್ so that you can get to know our notifications regarding the subjects and classes that are been going on with our Unacademy Karnataka PUC exam boards. Okay, right. So let's begin without wasting much time here. Let's begin with the topic. So statistics I am going to conduct. So that is, we are starting today with the time series topic here. Okay, so let's begin with the time series topic. So definition of time series. So what do you mean by time series? It is the definition. So we have two statisticians here who have defined time series. So they have defined time series. That is, Morris Hamburg has defined time series as a time series is a set of statistical observations arranged in a chronological order. Okay, so here time series means what? It is the set of statistical observations. So these are the set of statistical observations which are arranged in the chronological order. So here chronological order means what? That is again regarding to the time concept. Okay, that pertains to the time concept. So therefore they have kept the name as time series. So because we are considering here the time aspect of the statistical observation, so the arrangement is made on the basis of the time aspect, right? So here Morris Hamburg defined the set of statistical observations arranged in the chronological order, right? So these may be asked for your fill in the blanks and match the following questions. Okay, so these definitions may be asked in your fill in the blanks also, right? So majority of these type of definitions are asked in your fill in the blanks and match the following, wherein they'll give you the that is definition on one side and the person who has given the that definition, his name on the other side. So you have to match them, right? So these may be given for 1 or 2 marks. In the fill in the blanks you have 1 mark, right? So there you may find this. Okay, so to what, there may be a fill in the blank wherein this sentence may be given: the time series is a set of statistical observations arranged in chronological order. So who has given this definition? So you have to state there Morris Hamburg gave this definition. So there are 2 to 3 definitions in your textbook also, right? So in that I have picked these two, wherein you will have a majority of the times the questions are asked on these two, that is Morris Hamburg and Croxton and Cowden, right? So the time series consists of the data arranged chronologically. So he has also said the same type of statement, meaning the same, but the words here are different. Okay, so the words here are different. So time series consists of the data arranged chronologically. Okay, so data that is been arranged chronologically. So chronologically means what? It is the time aspect that is been considered. So in the next slide I have explained what is chronology, right? So let us see here. So this is the meaning of the time series. So those were the definitions which were exactly given by those statistician. So whenever you are writing the definitions, you cannot change the words, you have to write them as it is. But whenever you are told to write the meaning, you can write it in your own words, but those keywords should be there, that is statistical observations, chronology, these words should be there, right? So remember some of these keywords, if you use them you will get full marks in your answer paper, right? So next one, meaning of time series. So when a numerical data are observed at different points of time, so here there are observed, they have been the numerical data that is been there, they are been observed at different points, time points here. So chronology means what? Time points. So those time points, whenever you are keeping an eye on such a numerical data, that is known as what? Time series. Okay, so here they have given some of the examples also, that is if we observe agricultural production, comma, okay, so agricultural production, so agricultural production, say for example we are observing the data regarding agricultural production in the past 5 years. Okay, so from past 5 years, what is the agricultural produce that are total in our total country we have produced. So if you are observing that, that is known as a time series. Okay, next we have sales. So any company or any institute observing their value of sales year on year. Okay, so year after year, are they growing, are the sales declining? So if they are observing these, so that is also can be an example of the time series. Population. Okay, so if you are observing, so usually we do census survey wherein we conduct the survey regarding to the population, right? So that measurement is also termed as here time series. So all these come under the time series, that is it may be regarding to the agricultural production, you are observing the data, or it may be regarding to a company's sales that you are observing, or it may be regarding to the country's population. Okay, exports and imports, etc. So there are many things that you can observe, the statistics. Okay, the numerical data, if you are keeping an eye, that is known as what? Is known as time series. So you are measuring them, or you are looking at those values at different points of time. So different points of time means what? From 1 year to another year, from last 5 years to 10 years, likewise. Okay, or from 1 week to another week, from 1 day to another day. So all these things are being considered as time series. Okay, so here also they have said the set of observations constitute time series. So all these are said to be time series data, right? So these are some of the examples, so kindly note them, they may be asked for 1 marks, right? Give an example for time series, 1 or 2 examples you can give it here, that is agricultural production in India. Okay, sales of company X, population of a country, exports of a country, imports of a country. Okay, so all these you can say it, and you have to say it with a duration of time, that is from last 5 years we are say the agricultural production of last 5 years, sales of last 2 years, population of last 10 years, so likewise, etc. Okay, so these are considered to be the examples of time series, right? So here the time is most important factor, so that's why we have also named them as time series, right? So series means the set of numerical data, and which is considering here the measurement aspect is most important factor that we are considering here is time. So here time doesn't mean only hour, minutes and seconds, guys. Okay, so time doesn't mean only hours. Okay, not only an hour, not only a minute or a second. So say whenever you say time, we get into the brain, okay, we think of these aspects only, that is hour, minute and seconds. But time means it may be an hour, it may be a day, it may be a week, it may be a month, okay, or it may be a year, right? So all these are counted, are considered in time variable or time aspect, right? So these are considered in the time series, time aspect, guys. Okay, so I hope you are understanding my point of the thing that I have explained. So if you are having any doubts, kindly, we have the chat box here, you can type your doubt, I will just answer it. Okay, right. So after the meaning of time series, so we know now what is time series. So time series means we are considering the numerical data and observing them at different points of time. So that is the meaning of the time series, the simple meaning, right? So after this, so what is time means here, or chronology means? It is the time aspect, that is not only hour, minute and second, but it is considered as hour, day, a week, a month, a calendar year. So all these are considered as time series and relating to the time aspect. Next one is uses. So where are these time series? ಈ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ it helps in planning and forecasting the business activities. So it helps in planning, right? So by using time series, so ನೀವು ಹಿಂದಿನ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ, you can predict the future, correct? So say for example, if you are watching the strike rate of Virat Kohli, okay, from the previous 1 year, whatever matches he has played, so if you are watching, so you will get an average, right, that he may score at least 50, he may score. That is another part wherein he may get out, right, early, but on an average you can say, yeah, if he stands there, then he will score above 50, correct? So these can be predicted, right? So in the same way, how you predicted this? By using the previous data. So that previous data that you are having, the numerical numbers, set of numbers that you are having, is known as time series, guys. So indirectly we are using them in our day-to-day life, but we don't know in a analytical way, that is we don't know what it is called, but we in a day-to-day life we are usually using these aspects. So that numerical data on which you are predicting, so here time series, say for example from the past, if you are seeing that is nowadays the Android mobiles sale has increased tremendously, that is in every home at least you will have one Android mobile, correct? So here you can predict that the sale of these Android mobiles is going on increasing. So if you see from the past 10 years, the sales have increased. So you may say that in the near future also this trend may go on for a bit, right? So this, how did you say this? By seeing the data of the sales that has come up gradually. So here my meaning of telling you this is, it helps in planning and forecasting. So you can plan accordingly and also forecast the upcoming event. Next, it helps in understanding the past behavior. So if you are seeing the previous 5 years data, you may see that what is the behavior, okay? You will understand what may be the situation in the future, okay? So recently in the past few years, okay, so 1 or 2 years back we had that is coronavirus that has been infecting large number of people. So daily we used to sit and see in the news channels, that is the cases are being increasing, okay, or and gradually what it became, it came to an end, that is the value of numbers decreased, right? So in the starting, when was the, that is corona wave happened, the first wave, so there were many people who got infected. So from that number we used to see that we should be very cautious, right? So we should not travel outside, okay? Whenever if we are getting sick, we should remain in a hostile place wherein others are not getting affected. So all these things we used to do, right? So that how you did, by understanding the behavior that is been happening, right? So here time series tells us that by seeing the past behavior you can predict the future. Okay, next, comparison between data of one period with that of the another. So here how you can predict or forecast? By comparing, right? So by comparing you can say that whether what will be the end result in the near future, what result you may get. Say for example, from the starting test till now you have whatever you have undertaken. So if you see that test results, you can see that in which subjects you are lagging behind or in which subjects you are going good. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸರಿಯಾದಂಥ ಅಂಕಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನಾಗ ಸರಿಯಾದಂಥ ಅಂಕಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಬರಬಹುದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಒನ್, ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯುವೇಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎನಿ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಥಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸಬಹುದು. ಯಾವುದರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ? ಟೈಮ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ. ಸೊ by using time series we can evaluate the progress. What is the progress? Is it increasing or is it growing or is it decreasing? Okay, so you can evaluate them. So any economic activity, so economic activity here means what? Whatever is pertaining to a money. Okay, economic activity, so you can evaluate the progress. So these are some of the uses of time series, guys. So this may be asked for your 1 or 2 marks also, right? They may say state any 2 uses of time series, okay, or mention any 1 use of the time series. So 2 mark questions whenever you are being asked, so these theories may come into your, so please remember these points. That is, time series helps in planning and forecasting. Okay, so by using time series we can understand the past behavior and also predict the future, and using time series we can compare the data of one period with the other period and also evaluate the progress. So whatever is the progress we can evaluate them, right? So these are some of the uses of time series. Next, coming to the next part of your syllabus regarding to the time series here. So time series, after the uses, the important aspect in time series that may come into your question paper for 5 marks, a theory question may be asked, that is regarding to the components of time series. Okay, so if all these are collectively, they may be asked, that is explain the components of time series. So that is a 5 mark question. If they are asked individually, what is secular trend, seasonal variations, cyclical variations, so these may be individually they may be asked, or collectively if they are asked they come for 5 marks, or if they are asked individually you will get it for 2 mark or 1 mark questions, right? Okay, so let's see what are these components. What do you mean by components of time series? So here the observations, whatever the statistical numbers that you have collected, those are affected by the number of factors. Okay, so they are affected by a number of factors, right? So here we have categorized those factors, the 4 main important categories, that is the 4 main factors that affect the data at large. Okay, so usually these are some of the important factors that affect the data at large. Okay, so what are those 4 categories here? They have given them in 4 categories. So these categories are said to be as components. So the factors that affect the numerical data are categorized into 4 categories. These 4 categories are collectively known as components of time series. So now let's begin to see what are these individually. Okay, so individually let us study about them in brief to understand what are the 4 factors that are affecting the numerical data, right? So first one we have called it as a secular trend, second one is seasonal variation, third one is cyclical variation, and the fourth one is irregular variations. Okay, so first one, let us see the first one here, secular trend. Okay, so secular trend means the general tendency of time series data. Okay, the general tendency of the time series data to increase or to decrease or to remain constant during a long period of time is called as secular trend. So secular trend means what, guys? It means, in simple language, if the data is going on increasing year after year, say for example, if you have considered the past 5 years data, so here they have given an example. Let's consider this example here, that is increase in the price of gold. So we can see that from the past few years the price of gold has been increasing. So it has somewhat decreased, but when you see the trend, it is always in a upward, that is always it is increasing. So such long durational increase or it may be decrease. Okay, so you can say that, say for example, the polio cases, okay, in India have gradually decreased or they are not at all found now. So such type of decrease is also known as secular trend. So secular trend means what? There is a uniform increase or uniform decrease in a set of data is known as secular trend. Okay, so secular trend means whenever you have collected some data and that data is in increasing order or decreasing order uniformly. Okay, it is going on decreasing or going on increasing. If that is the tendency, that is known as secular trend. Okay, so the example here for the secular trend are increase in the price of gold, right? So the gold prices in the past many years has been increasing. So if the prices are increasing or it is a trend wherein you can see that the data has been increasing year on year, that trend is known as upward trend. That is known as a upward trend because the data is increasing on a yearly basis. So that is known as a upward trend. Second one is decrease in the death rates in the past many years is a downward trend. So here, because of the advancement in the science, medical science, here we can see that the death rates have come down gradually, right? So that is known as a downward trend. That is the number of deaths occurring are decreasing year on year. So that is known as downward trend. So if the data has a tendency of decreasing, the numbers are coming down gradually, that is known as downward trend. If the data is going on increasing, that is known as a upward trend. Okay, next one is seasonal trend. So seasonal trend means what? The regular, periodic and short term variation in a time series. Okay, the regular, periodic and short term variation in a time series is called seasonal variation. Okay, so seasonal variation means what? It is a regular, so we can see that in the next few days it may occur, right? So that is known as a regular. That is when you can predict is known as a regular. Okay, and short term means what? It doesn't stay for long, only for a limited period of time that variation is there. So that is known as seasonal variation. So regular means what? It is predictable that it will occur, and short term means what? Here it is only for a short period of time. Okay, so after that time then everything gets normal or the variation is gone. So that is known as a seasonal trend. So what is this seasonal trend? Then what is this period? So here they have given. So generally the period of seasonal variation would be within 1 year. So within 1 year, what are the changes are happening? So such type of changes that are happening within 1 year are known as a seasonal trend or seasonal variations. So those are happening on a regular interval basis, but they are not lasting for a year. Okay, so within 1 year the variations will be gone, right? So that is known as seasonal trend or seasonal variation. So seasonal variation is predictable. So that only I told in the first. Regular means what? You can predict them. The seasonal variation can be predicted. Okay. So why does this seasonal trend or variation occur? Because it occurs because of the factors they have given here. What are the factors that it may cause a seasonal trend? That is, first one, climatic conditions or weather conditions. So due to climatic conditions and weather conditions, there may be a changes in the trend. Okay. Next one, because of the customs, traditions and habits of the people. Okay. So due to the customs, okay, and traditions and habits of the people, there may be a seasonal trend. Okay. So the result of natural forces causes seasonal variation. Okay. Because of the natural forces change, there is a seasonal trend. So what examples can we give here? That is, in the rainy season we find that the sale of umbrellas and rainy that is, to protect us from water, we wear, that is, we use umbrellas, we use raincoats, right? So these types of uh, what commodities sales are more in the rainy season. So once the rainy season is over, again this comes to zero, correct? So the sale will be no more, or it may be in a negligible number. So such change is known as a seasonal variation, where there is a change, that is, increase in the sale of the uh, umbrellas for a stipulated period of time, and again it comes to normal, right? And next one is in winter season. Okay. So in winter season, what is there? The sale of the winter clothes or woolen clothes are going to increase, right? So the sale of the woolen clothes of will come up, that is, in the winter season. So another thing that is there, whenever the winter season goes off, again the sale of those woolen clothes will decrease, that is, they will be in a negligible number. But whenever there is a winter season, so we find that the sale of these clothes are more, or people are using more woolen clothes. So that is a seasonal variation. Another example, they have given sale of ice creams, cold drinks in the summer season. So in summer season, because of heat, what we want to consume cold items. So it may be ice cream, it may be cold drinks. Okay. So there is a lot of demand for such type of commodities in the summer season. So all these are also the examples. Okay. So another one example, another some of the example that may be given are, so the first one is, that is, the sale of books and stationery items for the kids are more in June and July, right? So whenever the school starts, okay, people buy more of, that is, they buy books. Okay. And also the stationery items like pen, okay, pencils, all those things are more. So usually in the month of June and July, whenever the schools are getting opened up, so at that time you will find that there is a more of sale of these books and stationaries which are used by the kids to go kids in the school, right? Next one, so after seasonal trend, the next one here is cyclical variation. Okay. So cyclical variation means what? This is a variation or a oscillatory variation that occurs in stages. Okay. So cyclical variation, what does it happen here? It occurs in oscillatory. Oscillatory means what? It is in an oscillating way, and it occurs in 4 stages. Okay. Every business passes through all these stages, guys. Every business that is being established, or every commodity, has to go through these stages. So this is known as a cyclical variation. So sorry, so the cyclical variation has 4 stages. First one is prosperity, second one is decline or recession, third one is depression, and fourth one is improvement or recovery. So the first one, prosperity, means what? Initial stage, whenever you have introduced a new product in the market, so initially the sales are not much or they are in a growing stage, right? So the sales, whenever you have introduced the product freshly, so the sales start increasing. Okay, so it starts to increase, so that is known as prosperity. So prosperity means what? The sales start to increase, or the demand for that commodity also increases or grows. The numbers are growing here, and at a certain stage, at prosperity stage, what happens is these numbers are at peak. Okay, so you are earning highest revenue. Okay, revenue or income. So that is, a business earns highest income in its prosperity stage, and after a stage wherein the numbers are at peak, it gradually starts decreasing. Okay, it gradually, what happens is, starts decreasing. So that is known as decline. Okay, so decline means what? The numbers start falling, the income or sales, they start falling. Okay, so that is known as decline. Okay, so at a certain period, so in the decline stage, what is the main important difference between decline and depression here is, in a decline you are earning income but at a lower rate. So assume that if you are earning 100 rupees profit, that gradually comes down here, that is, it may come up to 90. You are earning profit, you are in a income stage only, but in the prosperity stage you were earning 100, but now it has become 90. So here the income, you are still in the income category only, but there is a decrease here. So that is known as decline. That is, you are earning income but it is decreasing. In depression stage, what happens is, in the depression stage, what happens is, the number here goes in minus. Okay, so in depression, the number, what happens is, it goes in the negativity. That is, you will face losses. Whatever amount you have invested, that amount also you are unable to get back. So that is known as, that is, you are facing heavy losses. So such stage is known as depression, wherein your commodity, so as I had said, in the first initial stage, the prosperity stage, there are more increase in the number of sales of a commodity, and gradually the sales come down. In depression, you don't have any demand for that commodity. Okay, so next stage is recovery. So in the recovery stage, what happens is, you make improvements whenever the demand goes zero. So you make some improvements in it, and again, or you may introduce a new variant and again start, so from zero. Okay, so from scratch, so the market recovers. That is, your sales start recovering, you start minimizing your losses and try to earn profit. So that is known as recovery. That is, you will start to recover all your losses that you have faced in the depression. Okay, so this stage is known as recovery stage. Okay, so such stage is known as what? Recovery stage or improvement. So you will start increasing your number of sales or income, that starts going up, right? So this is one of the important aspect in your component of time series, where you may be asked regarding to the stages. Explain the 4 stages, or in 1 or 2 marks also you may face questions, that is, what are the stages. Okay, so usually in 5 marks questions you may face that, explain cyclical variation using the diagram. So you have to draw this diagram, business cycle or cyclical variation, and explain the stages in 1 or 2 sentences each. So prosperity first stage means what? Here in the business is in the initial stage, and your commodities start earning income, and at a stage you have profits. Okay, so at a stage what happens is you have profits, guys. So this is prosperity stage. Okay, next one is decline. So in the prosperity you are earning highest amount of profit, that starts declining or that starts decreasing, so that is known as decline. Okay, so your profits come down. You have profits here. Okay, remember, you have profits but at a decreasing rate. And later on in the third stage, that is depression, you are facing losses. That is, the income that you were earning is come up to zero, or it may have gone to negative here. So that is a negative number. Okay, so next stage is improvement. So wherein by introducing a new commodity or new uh, variant of that product, you may start getting, or you may start to recover the loss. So that is known as recovery or improvement stage. Okay, so this is also one of the important questions in your components of time series. Okay, is it clear? If you have any doubts, you may ask. Any other doubts regarding to the cyclical variation? Okay, so the next one is irregular variation, right? So you may be what thinking that in the previous slides there were some contents written, but what is this irregular variation, right? You didn't expect it. Yes, so that unexpected events that occur are termed as irregular variation, guys. Okay, so irregular variation is a type of variation wherein wherein you are not expecting, you were not expecting, or you cannot predict them. Such events which occur suddenly, okay, those are known as irregular variations. Okay, so they cannot be predicted, or they are not regular, they are irregular. So the name itself here suggests, that is, irregular means what? They are not regular. Okay, so they do not occur in intervals of time. So they may occur whenever, but we cannot expect them. Okay, you may not expect these events. They may be unexpected and a surprise for you. Okay, so that is known as irregular variations. So the examples for irregular variations are what? That is tsunami, natural calamities happening. Okay, so these unexpected events, earthquakes, right? So drought, earthquakes, tsunami, natural calamities, so all these are known as irregular variation, which cannot be prevented, or you cannot predict them. Not prevented, you cannot predict them, right? So that is known as irregular variation. So you cannot predict that this is going to happen. Okay, so we don't know when and where it happens, right? So that is known as irregular variation. Okay, so I hope you have understood the concept of components of time series here, right? So if you have any doubts regarding it, kindly you can comment in our chat box so that your doubts are cleared, right? So if you have any doubts regarding this, you may ask. Any doubts, guys? Okay, so let's shortly revise the things that I have taught today, and we'll sum up with the session of today. So firstly, we learned regarding the meaning of time series. So what is time series that we have learned today? So time series are nothing but these are the numerical data, a set of numerical data, okay, that is been classified, that is been used based on the what time aspect. Okay, so that is known as time series. Meaning of time series, so we had seen, and in the beginning we had seen the definition of time series. Okay, so these are the two important definitions that are being given and highly what appearing questions in your examination. So these are some of the these are having the productive probability of appearing in your examinations. Either they may come in for 2 marks or 1 mark, fill in the blanks, or match the following, right? So please remember these statisticians and their definitions, that is Morris Hamburg and Croxton and Cowden. So these are the two definitions of time series. Okay, so time series means what? It is a set of observations arranged in the chronological order. So chronological order means what? The time aspect that is considered. Okay, so the time aspect. So you may also have the important key aspects that you have to stress in this session are the examples of time series, guys. So what are the examples here? That is agricultural production, sales, population, exports, imports. So at a different, say for example from 5 to 10 years, what is the production of wheat, what is the production of jawar. If you are observing them, then that can be said as an example for that is time series. Or you may say that population of a country. Okay, if you are saying that from the past 10 years, what is the population of our country, that is India. So you can say that is an example of time series. Okay, and you can also say that exports or imports that are happening in our country, so those are also in the past few years. What are our exports, what are our imports? If you are observing them, then that can also be said as an example. Okay, and here the most important thing is in time series, time aspect is an important factor. So which is the important factor here? Time factor. Okay, or time aspect. So time aspect includes what here? It may be an hour, it may be a day, it may be a week, month, or a year. So that is said to be a meaning of the time series. And the what time aspect includes hour, day, week, month, and calendar. Next one, uses. So we have seen the uses of time series today. So time series means that is uses where it can be used. It can be used in planning, it can be used in forecasting. Okay, it can be used in learning the past behavior and comparison of data. You can compare the data of one period with another, and also we can evaluate the progress of any other of any economic activity, right? So these are the uses of time series. So this is also an important concept, guys. Next one, the most important here, components of time series. So we have 4 components here, that is secular trend, seasonal variation, cyclical, and irregular. So I have explained all these 4 variations in detail. So these may appear for 5 marks. Okay, explain the components of time series, or if they are asked separately, they may come for 2 mark questions, right? So please note down. And let's sum up with the session today. So this is our Telegram channel. You can join us in the Telegram channel here, and you will get the regular notifications of the classes that are happening for PUC Karnataka, okay, board examinations, right? So join into our Telegram channel to regularly get updated with our channel, that is Unacademy Karnataka PUC exams. Okay, and next, also share, like, and subscribe our channel. So if you are liking the way I've been teaching here, so just hit a like and share this channel. Okay, and also subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get the regular notifications and you don't miss any classes, guys. Okay, so let's sum up with the session today. We'll meet again tomorrow, same time, same place. Okay, the same place means Unacademy platform, Karnataka PUC exams, right? So signing off, this is Vishwanath. Take care.